Hey guys, welcome back to Bibliophile Reads. I'm Courtney, and today you're joining me for like a little reading catch-up moment because I haven't posted in a while and things have happened. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Courtney. I do all kinds of bookish videos. I look at Kindles. It's like my collection of Kindles. I review them. I compare them. I do the normal bookish things, book hauls, book unhauls, book shopping. So check out my content if you enjoy it. I'd love to have you subscribe. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for being a part of the community. I really appreciate you guys. Love interacting with you guys in the chat, so never be afraid to chat. Check my community tab. I try to post periodically if I'm not posting a video. So today is December 27th. We've gotten past Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. You could be celebrating Hanukkah right now or Kwanzaa, but I hope whatever you're celebrating, you have had some great time with your family, or you plan to do that, and celebrate in the way that feels right to you. Not everybody feels like hanging out with their family all day is a great idea. So whatever feels right to you. I know we definitely enjoyed ourselves. I have taken off, 2 weeks, obviously in business days, it's not 2 weeks, but my last day at work was the 20th, and I don't go back to January 6th. So I am ecstatic. I'm not even checking anything on my phone or computer. Most of my team is gone. My direct reports are gone. So it's like there's nothing to follow up on. I did have to approve time cards today, and I did that for a second, but I only opened one app, approved the time cards, and called it a day because we're just not doing that. So really loving that. And I really needed it because I wasn't necessarily tired going into this short break, but I definitely was ready just to chill and do things that I enjoy doing. We do celebrate Christmas, and it can get busy and hectic. My kids are a bit older, and so it's a little less pressure now that they're older, but still it's a busy time. So I was happy to take the break, but also happy to read because I hadn't got a lot of reading done this month, but I actually have gotten some reading done, and so I want to tell you about that. I want to talk about what I'm currently reading. I just picked up a new book, and I want to do a video. I'll probably do a specific video about this, but I want to start talking about 2025 and like how I'm going to track things, how it's going to go for me, because I want to get ideas from you guys too on what you're doing and how to keep your reading fresh. So it's just a chatty video. So pull up a drink, pull up a snack. Let's get into it. Hopefully it won't be too long. Okay, so first, let's talk about what I have read. So this year I have opted to use the Hobonichi Techo Cousin as my book journal. Now, I started a book journal this year. Actually, let me get it. Okay, so I started a book journal this year, and I was so excited about it because I was staying really committed to it. I wanted like a bullet journal, but that didn't happen. It ended up being just a lined journal. But I was like, that's fine. So what I was doing was, basically doing a flat lay of the books that I finished, and then I would write like a synopsis about it and my star rating, and it was great. And then one day I was updating it, and what I was doing was like writing the book or sticking a picture of the book, writing about it, and then numbering what book I was on. Well, in printing off from my digital tracker, I missed a whole page which holds 20 books. So I glued in all of these and numbered them in pen, and they were the wrong order. I about died. This journal has been under my dresser for months from when I threw this because I was so irritated. I couldn't believe that I did that. I literally, okay, some people would have said like it's not a big deal. It's still a total. I'm a Virgo. I'm a type A person. It was a big deal because my numbers were off, and so I was done with it. But I liked the idea of it. So I decided that I would use the Hobonichi Cousin. Now I saw this all over TikTok. I'm not gonna lie, what drew me was like the squishy sounding pages, like the crunchy pages. I love that sound. But there's so many pages in here. So they have the monthly spread, they have the daily spread, and then they have like the, like the hour by hour spread. There's so many different spreads in here. So I'm still trying to play with how I want to do it. But what I started with, because it starts in December, was just tracking what I've been reading. And then I put a little clear sticky note of ideas So I started here, I put my November stats. So I might do that for January as well. But as I was reading, I ended up putting like the book that I finished and like what I'm reading each day and like how many stars I gave it. So that was kind of how I plan to use it. And then as January comes around, so here's January 1st, like I might on the first of the month put my hopes, goals, or TBR, and then each day write something about the books that I read. Before January, I did put my 2024 book stats. Well, it's titled that, but I ended up putting the top 24 books of 24, which I tried to post that video, and for some reason it posted 3 minutes, and it was up there for days. Y'all didn't even tell me, but I deleted it, and I'm trying to get it to upload, but my computer's literally out of space. And then I put my top books to read in 2025, so that kind of splits up the different sessions. Anyway, I've been tracking books this way, and that has been really good. So one of the Christmas gifts I got that I asked for was an HP Sprocket, which is so cute. It's just this little device. It connects Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to your phone, and it prints out 2x3 pieces of paper. So what I put here is, this is like a full-size sheet. So in here I'll do like a workout tracker as well, which I have thoughts on that too. But then you could also make a collage of 4 and cut these little pieces out. So my thought is throughout the year, as I finish a book, I'll cut these little pieces out and then write about them. Sort of like how I did for this one, but nicer, and I won't mess up. So that is my plan and what I've been doing. The reason I say I'm not sure about the workout tracker is because I literally bought the best planner for 2025 on TikTok. And this is it's from the Daily, Dailee. And this lady has several different planners. This is like the all-encompassing. They have like a, what is it? A influencer planner. They have a workout planner, whatever. But I just picked the one that has everything in it because I love a chunky planner, and I do still plan on paper. And so in this, you have like your daily, your monthly spread, and then you have like your day-to-day spread, right? But you have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner tracking and your workout tracker in here. So it's like, do I need a workout tracker in my book journal if I have it here? Probably not. So, okay, so that leads to what I've been reading. I promise that rant led to something. So here's what I've been reading. Now I will say I kind of was really not into reading anything. I had started a few books. I was reading, well, I read Dashing All the Way, which I gave 3 stars, just like a cute little short novel. Then I was reading a novel, Christmas, which I have not finished yet, and I'm not going to, because at this point I'm like so over Christmas books. I can't even. Then I picked up James, which I think I told you guys that already, which is the Huckleberry Finn retelling. It is good, but it's like, and it's not even long. It just wasn't the vibes, so I wasn't reading it. So I picked up a book sort of right over the weekend that I went on break. So did I finish it? Yeah, I finished it the 16th, and then I stopped. Anyway, this book is Mary Kay Andrews' Holiday Hideaway. This is a cute little novella, very short, but just what I needed. And it is about a woman who has been basically squatting in this house. And one day a man shows up to the house. Come to find out his grandpa was the owner of the house, and it's basically like a Airbnb. And the grandpa has passed away, so his grandson has come to like get it set up. And he's one of several grandkids. He's the only one who came to do anything with the house. And she basically spends like part of the book trying to hide from him in the attic, and then they run into each other because he gets hurt, and then they start sort of cohabitating, and love ensues. I thought it was super cute. I gave it 4 stars because at that point in my life, any book that could get me to finish it was going to do well. And so that was a really cute Christmas book. then I was on a roll. So then I decided to pick up We Used to Live Here by Marcus Keeler, something. Let's call him Marcus K. And this book was so good. I did give this 5 stars. It had been on my Kindle for a while because what I was doing was really scrolling through my Kindle and my physical library to see like what books do I have that have been sitting on my TBR for a while, and this is one of them. This book follows 2 women who just bought a house, they're partners, and the house is older, but they're literally just moving in. And the main woman, she is setting up the house while her partner's at work, and a family comes to the door who says that they lived there, or the man of the family, Thomas, the father, said he lived there growing up, and they were just passing through. It would be possible for them to walk through the home. The FMC is hesitant, which obviously, but she's not very smart in this book. And she's like, after much like sort of stalling and hesitation, she decides to let them in. And so she's kind of walking them around the house and following them while he reminisces. The wife isn't into it. The kids are bratty and horrible. And you know, she's just trying to be cordial and nice. So they start touring the house, and then I think they have a blizzard or something. And so they can't leave the house because the weather's bad. And by that time, our FMC's partner has come home, and she's not like picking up the clues that something's not right. She's kind of halfway entertaining this family because they're very conservative. And so as a same-sex couple, you know, she's like, well, tell me more about how you're feeling about certain things. So that first night, they let them sleep over, which also is crazy. And they wake up in the middle of the night because the door's open, the front door's open. And the FMC and her partner go downstairs to see the family guy, Thomas, the dad of that family, out on the lawn crying and like frozen in place. Now, in my mind, that's when I'm gonna run, but they help him up, they bring him in. And they start to sort of uncover that when he lived in the home, he lived with a girl named Allison that was his sister. And so something has happened clearly, but doesn't really get into it. And so then it kind of goes from there where the FMC starts trying to find things out about this family because they're very odd and things just keep making them linger, and they don't end up leaving. And in the basement of the home, it almost becomes like a portal of like time change, which sounds crazy, but it's done really well. And yeah, it's really weird. Think about it as like a family basically taking over to the point where our FMC is even questioning, is she who she is? I did give it 5 stars, but the ending kind of bums me out. Because I wanted it to do something different, but it was still so good. Obviously, you can tell by the way I'm talking about it, I love that book. Then I decided, you know what? Let's keep it moving. I read Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I also read her book Out on a Limb, and I plan to read Out of the Woods. And I picked this book up a while ago. I started it and then I put it down because it wasn't intriguing. But since I had read another book by Hannah Bonham Young, I know her writing style and that I like it, so I was able to carry on with it. And so this book follows our FMC who has been estranged from her mom for a while, was in the foster system. She gets a call one day that her mother, who did not know she was pregnant, is giving birth to a baby. The mother is still not well enough to take care of the baby because of her addictions, and so she would like the FMC to take the baby and raise it so that the baby doesn't have to go through the foster care system. The FMC is down to do it because she went through the foster care system. She knows how it is. She wants just a stable home for her sister. And she has a home. And she has a home, but I think her finances are off, or like, yeah, her finances are off and she has a home, something like that. Anyway, the parent company, they have this program where two foster parents can live together if one of them is missing something. So like if like the MMC doesn't have a solid home, doesn't have enough space for his foster, which is his brother, who's about 15. And so since our FMC has space in her home, they can partner together and show that they are capable of being the foster parent long term or the guardian. It sounds confusing, it's not. So anyway, we have our FMC and our MMC moving in together. He's kind of grumpy. He's like, look, I'm only here for my brother. The brother's deaf, and our FMC magically knows how to speak sign language, and they start kind of cohabitating, and obviously sparks happen over some time. I gave it a 3.5 because it did get kind of long. Some of it was a little bit unbelievable, and I didn't love the MMC. He had some parts that he was really grumpy and like reserved, and then when they started dating and things started getting spicy, he's just like a whole different person, and that was odd to me. So 3.5, but I still recommend it. Then I wasn't done. I was still on a roll. So I read, did I read? Oh yeah, I read this on Monday the 23rd. I read Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Now I've been on my Frida McFadden grind because after reading The Boyfriend, yeah, I just remembered like how good her books are, and each book since then I've read have been really great. Like I said, I only read the Housemaid books of hers, and they've always been good, nothing wrong with them, but I hadn't read anything else, and I'm so glad I picked them up. So Never Lie follows a couple who they are going to see a house. They're trying to buy a house together. They're newly married, and they've been married like 6 months. They were only dating for like 3 months or something, so it's been less than a year, and now they're ready to buy a house, but they are going to see this house pretty far away from them in the middle of a snowstorm, and they have not a very good snow car. They get close to the house. They can't get in touch with their agent because the cell service is bad, but they get close to the house. They depart, go to the house because they see a light on, and they figure that the real estate agent is there. Well, the house is empty, and come to find out the house is the house of a famous author slash psychologist or psychiatrist who had a book about all of her clients. And so the FMC finds a secret portal room with all of client recordings of the sessions that our author had. And as our FMC is listening to this, she's piecing together something because the author has been missing and nobody knows what happened to her. And so listening to the tapes is helping her piece it together. The book at the end was very shocking, so that's why I got 5 stars, because it wrapped up very nicely, and I really, really liked that. Then on Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day, I finished the book, Definitely Better Now. I want to say I gave that 4 stars, maybe like 3.5, but this book follows our FMC who is fresh. She's 1 year sober from alcohol addiction, and now that she's 1 year sober, she can date, she can sort of ease up on some of her rituals that she had to do. And so as she tries to figure that out, she has like a hard time at work. There's a douchey guy at work that's bothering her. She meets a guy, tries to date, that doesn't work out. We're trudging through that first year of being sober, and it is a really challenging year for her. I don't want to spoil it. Lots of things come up that are hard for her, that would make it hard for her to stay sober, and so that book was really good too. And I got that book from Book of the Month Club. Highly recommend that. So that's what I've been reading. So I have been reading. I've been doing a lot of reading, and I'm trying to figure out like how I want to wrap up the end of the year. So I often like to pick up books that I've read throughout the year, towards the end of the year, and try to reread them, because as we know, in the booktube world, we often have so many books that come out, they're so good, and then you're like in a race to read them, to review and talk about them. And so one of those books that I am rereading is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I do remember this book. This is the book about our FMC and MMC. They move in together after their significant others cheat on them with each other. And so I'm rereading that one. It's cute, it's funny, but I'm only a few pages in, not that far in. So I was trying to look for it on my little Kindle Basic. You guys know I unboxed this. Make sure you check out the video if you haven't. This has been sitting kind of in my purse because it's supposed to be my on the go, but really I'm going to take it out because like I'm not on the go right now. I'm literally sitting at home. So I'm taking it along with me. I created a little hobby tote. I don't know if you guys have heard about a hobby tote, but I was like, I'm not really going to pay money for a tote bag, but I do need to like have something to gather all of my things in as I'm traveling from upstairs to downstairs. I have pens, markers, everything I've shown you, my sprocket, my journal, my Kindles, the books I'm reading go in there. So I might keep that in here in that hobby bag for a while until I go back to work and am going places throughout the day. Anyway, so reading Funny Story. I'm also reading The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This is on my Colorsoft. I read a couple other books by Geneva Rose and I liked her writing style. And she has the second book in this series coming out. And so I'm looking forward to that. So there's that one and Funny Story. I also re-downloaded The Long Game because I really loved that book from Elena Armas. But am I only 20%? Okay, I thought I was further, but it looks like I'm 20% into The Perfect Marriage. This book follows Sarah and Adam. Adam is having an affair on Sarah. They've been in a marriage for a long time. Sarah's a very successful lawyer. He's a writer who hasn't written anything in a while. He's having an affair and something happens to his mistress. And so we're just figuring out what's going to happen. She's his lawyer. And so he's got to explain everything that happened to her and like how he met Sarah and all the things. So that's where we're at. Then I forgot that I had picked up Mad Honey because I wanted to support this author. I really loved her stance on politics. And I just wanted to read it. So I picked this one up. I'm only on page 28. I just started it last night before bed, like 11 o'clock. And this book follows our FMC, who's a single mom. Her son is dating, her son Asher is dating a girl named Lily. And Lily goes missing. And so where I am now is that Asher has called his mom to say that he's in jail and she needs to come down because something happened to Lily. And now we're hearing from Lily on the night of what happened. So that's getting good. So those are kind of what I'm in the middle of reading. So let me just wrap this up with one book that I picked up. I know there's so many sales happening right now. And I'm looking constantly on the Kindle site to see like what Kindle books are out because I really am so serious about like minimizing the amount of junk I have in my life, but also not over compiling things in my space. And so I do not need 10,000 books. Most of the time I don't reread the books, and a lot of the time, probably like more than 75% of the time, I have a digital copy and a physical copy, and I don't need both. So although there are tons of deals, I'm not getting as many, but I did find one today at Barnes. It was 50% off that I picked up. And this is Same as It Ever Was by Claire Lombardo. She wrote The Most Fun We Ever Had. I really enjoyed that book. And you guys know I've been on my literary fiction grind this year, and I choose to continue that because it's just way more interesting to me than any other genre right now. That and thrillers. I mean, a thriller will get me anytime. But this book says, after a youth marked by upheaval and emotional turbulence, Julia has found herself on the placid plateau of midlife. She's never navigated the world with the equanimity of her current privileged class, and she's nearly derailed herself several times, making desperate bids for the kind of connection that always felt inaccessible to her. But she finally feels at age 57 that she has a firm handle on things. She's unprepared, though, for what comes next. A surprise announcement from her straight arrow son, an impending separation from her spiky teenage daughter, and a seductive resurgence of the past, all of which threatened to draw her back into the patterns that had previously kept her on razor's edge. Same as It Ever Was traverses the rocky terrain of real life, exploring avenues of maternal ambivalence, intergenerational friendship, and the happenstantial cause and effect that governs us all. Delving deeply into the nature of relationships, how they grow, change, and sometimes end, Claire Lombardo proves herself a true and definitive cartographer of the human heart and asserts herself among the finest novelists of her generation. So I think that just sounds good. Again, I like any story that's sort of following a family over time and we're like peeling back the layers of that family. So pick that up today. I'm not really in a rush to read it. Like I said, it's just on my list as I look into my January TBR. So as I look forward to January, I have lots of great ideas that I want to put out for you guys. I want to be consistent on my posting. I really have a lot of people that follow for the tech reviews. I don't know what tech will come out, but I hope you also enjoy the regular content as well. This is one of my passion projects. I love to do this. Obviously, it's not my full-time job or anything, but I do love to share what I'm reading. I just love the community that we've built, and I learned so much from you guys in the comments, and I hope that that continues. I think last year I started with like a spinner wheel, and that didn't happen for long, but I think, you know, I'm not a TBR person, but I want to be more intentional again with the books that I read. I think to wrap out the year, you'll probably see like a December wrap up and then like my 2024 wrap up, and then we'll start off the new year. So I'm super excited to continue this channel with you guys. Would love to hear if there are any specific videos you would like. I need to do an updated all my e-readers video. I'm happy to do any other comparison videos you like for tech as well. But yeah, I think that's everything as we catch up. So thanks for hanging on while we caught up today. Love to hear what you've been reading, or if you're just relaxing, have you decided to stop for the year? I would love to hear all of that in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you find this channel to be something that you think a friend might like, don't hesitate to share it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.